ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Awkward Question Time. Please welcome your host, Alex Leam.
Shit, that hurts. I wonder if they'll speak to me after. Hey, hello, and welcome to Awkward Question Time with me, Alex Leam, the show where I take a panel of comedians and subject them to an hour's worth of awkward and stupid questions. But not all of the questions come from me. Some will come from you as well. So if you've got a question for the panel, submit it in the comments bit, wherever you're watching. More cringe, the better, and also answer along with us. And while you're at it, if you can give us a share, retweet, or subscribe on YouTube, that would be grand. And also like my Facebook page, at Alex Leam Stand Up. Follow me on Twitter, at Alex Leam. Or search for Alex Leam on YouTube and give the Awkward Question Time Facebook page a like if you're still on Facebook. You know, don't hurry back if you've already left. Don't want to double your journey time. That's at Awkward Question Time. If you're not watching us live and you're watching the replay, then please let us know where and at what time you're watching. But do join us live Sunday nights at 8:30 p.m. And also, if you're watching on a proper TV, DM me a pic. Now, normally it's me pulling a bit of a pose for you to take a picture and send. But I thought this week I'd let one of the panel do it instead. I'll pick one at random. George, you do the pose that people will send in. Yeah, okay. So I'll full screen you. Solo layout. There we go. Take a picture of George. Look at that tongue action. Amazing. How are you still single? There we go. Oh, no. There we go. So, yeah, take that photo, George, and then ping it in. That would be great. And also, if you are enjoying the show and you'd like to support it, then the links are below. PayPal.me/Alex Leam and Ko-fi.com/Alex Leam as well. I would like a Ko-fi donation more than anything else because I've had that for over a year and so forth, bugger all. So, just to check that it works, if anything else. And you can scan this QR code here and donate £5. All donations will be split up and given equally to all of the performers here tonight. And if you would like to send a question in anonymously, then text the show's Nokia 3310. One message received already. Let's have a look. Oh, it's from Kitty, who's sent a question already. Good. I'm glad I've saved your number at last, Kitty. We'll come to that question that you submitted a bit later. With that in mind, let's get on all of tonight's panel. You've seen them already, George Coppin, but also please welcome Alan Lear, Ishi Khan, and Susie Frost. Welcome to you all. Hello.
Hi.
Right then, so Dan Live is watching on YouTube. Hello, Dan.
Hey.
Gold Kitty's commenting on YouTube as well as texting in. Cheers, Kitty. Hi. Hello.
Hey.
And also Alan's wife, Erica.
Oh, hey.
Hello. Is she watching downstairs?
Cheers.
Bad choice of words, really. Yeah, you know what I meant. I've just noticed as well the private chat's gone mad during that time. Dare I? Dare I have a look?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's what happens in the private chat stays there, and I would love to tell you, but I can't. It's
Do it. Tell him.
No.
It'll be awkward when we get sued.
If I haven't yet, then we're not going to. It's not going to happen. Submit your questions for the panel. We'll come to viewer questions a little bit later on. But first question to you all, well, most of you anyway. Can you guess what that stain is on Susie's wall? So Susie's pointing to the stain. Let me full screen you, Susie, so we can have a better. Oh, hang on, shit. Wrong button. Sorry. Brain fog. Blame the COVID brain fog. They shouldn't put remove from stream next to solo layout. Okay, and point.
Oh.
There we go. So that's the. I would imagine if you get a bit. Does it get any more intense as you get closer to the stain, Susie?
I don't know. It looks like a cloud, like a sort of darker version of the walls that's already there.
It used to be. So because that was there when I moved in,
and the lady before me, that was where like the top of her bed was. So she had it. This is the bottom of my bed at the minute. I've got it going that way, and she had it running that way. So that was the top of the bed.
Right. Because I mean, I've as somebody who's used a lot of hair products over the years, my first thought was like hair gel, but that would just go over time.
Yeah.
So that leads me to think some other fluid.
Semen.
Okay, hands up. Who thought Ishi would come out with that one? Not me. Not me, actually. No, not me.
It's a classic game of mayonnaise or cum.
What the hell are you doing with your mayonnaise if it's getting up the wall like that?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
interesting.
All right. If George ever gets a commission from Dave, never go on his show. We know what's going to be happening next on Fun Night now, don't we? Yeah.
What, playing with mayonnaise?
Don't type that in on Wish Issue, whatever you do.
No, no.
That's
Just
a good idea.
to elaborate more on the stain. Is it solid or is there some kind of like fuzz appearing?
I've tried wiping it, but it's it's very much ingrained into the wall, like something over time.
I'm just enjoying Ishi, who's clearly been on a day of innuendo training. It's
I just think, like, if it's that ingrained and that was the head of the bed, then the projectile has got to be like pretty close. So it's probably gone through the bricks or whatever material that is, and it's going to stay there forever. It's either that or it's like
what men do you know?
none, just you lot.
The human
Just you lot.
cannon.
like a party popper.
Yeah.
Stick a tampon up his ass, pull it out, and that happens.
Knocks
Well,
down tall buildings with a
I
well-aimed
feel like
blank.
I've learnt something.
Hi ho.
Shall I go and stroke it and see if it comes off?
Okay, all right, then we'll
Yeah,
full screen you
yeah.
again. So that,
Keep
okay.
it gross.
And I thought it was just your thoughts, Bubble. I figured it was kind of dark because you were on this show.
I really hope Joe comes back now and just opens the door.
It's quite big, isn't it, Susie, that stain? Because it's when you're standing next to it, because it looks tiny on the screen, but when you're next to it, it seems really huge.
It is quite big, but new discovery, it's a different texture.
Is he?
It's like so. It's like it's a different sort of paint, or like someone's. You know when you paint like nail varnish or varnish over something.
Little gloss instead of like
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like
Oh, that's
glossy. So maybe she's just really shit at mixing paint.
Kitty has a theory. She's put, oh yeah, that's definitely a looby handprint if it's a headboard area.
Yeah, that's good call. That's good call.
Water-based, yeah.
Silicon lube is notoriously difficult to get out of walls, Susie.
It was there before I moved in. I swear.
Yeah.
No matter how you respond to that, it'll always have a hint of "Madam doth protest too much."
Could be oil from well-maintained ropes or handcuffs.
Oh.
That's true.
Good BDSM maintenance is always important.
Yeah, that's
This
right.
feels like the more we talk about this, the more we nosedive in viewers. I've noticed, and God knows why. 'Cause this is compelling. We've dropped 3 in the last 5 minutes, so
Wow.
I'd have thought this would be worth sticking around for myself.
It won't
No
make no
pun intended.
Just have a look at it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't think I think it's one of those enigmas. I don't think we'll ever find out. But I don't know about anyone else. But I can't help staring at it now.
Yeah.
Do you think those 3 people tuned in and just found us discussing different qualities of paint and thought this is
It might have been the lady that used to live here and was like, "Oh shit!"
found out?
Yes, it's one of my regulars.
Did you ever meet the woman, or could she be buried behind that wall?
No, I did meet her, and can I say this? She's a Green Party councillor.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely a dead body behind that wall.
Very nice.
Or is it patchouli oil then?
Oh, maybe it's like weird herby shit.
Yeah.
Or Smoking a reefer.
Yeah, trying to gloss over the cannabis stains.
Just had a question in by text message that says, if George Coppin offered you a special homemade mayo, would you eat it?
Ah,
I wouldn't even eat
no.
it.
I wouldn't
No,
eat anything that George offered me.
You, all right, Susie.
Okay, that's around for Fun Time Live. Fun Night Live, right there.
Get my show right.
Blindfolded. Brain fog. I'm blaming that. I'm blaming everything on that for the next 6 weeks. Not that I was barely holding it together before COVID. So
This episode of Difficult Question Time is getting weird.
okay. Kitty on the chat. Question for everyone. What happened in the private chat?
Oh.
Should we just leave that hanging? Because it's going to be more mysterious if we do that.
We could do like a big
It's
reveal at the
it's
end.
behind Susie's wall. What happened?
That's what
It
happened.
wouldn't be a disappointment now if we tell you whatever you've built it up to in your mind is far funnier than whatever.
It's not
it
as
is.
good.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, next question. Following on from a comment from John Morris last week in the chat group on the viewers chat, who didn't rate my beard at all. We will ask all of the panel, can you rate my beard, giving it a score between 1 and 10? 1 being rubbish, 10 being sexy AF. George, we'll come to you first as a fellow beard.
Hang on, just go full screen, please, Alex.
Okay. I'll be really awkward if I remove myself from layout. Okay, full screen.
That's probably about a 2.5, but with the mustache, make it 3.
2.5. In my defence, my beard trimmers gave out power halfway last night. So it is a little bit uneven at the moment, and I've not used them for over a year, so I can't find the charger. So 2.5 score from George.
With the
Alan,
mustache, it's a 3.
with a 3. Okay. Alan.
Well, I didn't realise it was a beard. I just thought you couldn't be arsed shaving like me.
Thank you.
Since I've achieved exactly the same effect through total laziness, I'm going to give you a 5.
Building. Ishi.
Okay. If I look at, I must admit, I had to double look because it's so around your jawline. It's just making your jawline more prominent. And I thought, oh, has Alex got a beard? Where is it? But there we go. So I'm sorry, but I think I'll probably go like Alan and go for a 5. Oh, let's give you a 6. Yeah.
Thank you. Upped by 1, I think, through pity, but I'll take that.
Yes.
Susie.
I'm gonna give you an 8 because
Ooh.
you and Joe have very similar like beard distribution. So if I went low, then he would be livid. But you're not Joe, so I've knocked 2 points off.
He's not watching anyway.
Fair enough.
Oh yeah, he's fucked off.
Yeah.
And yeah, whilst we're on that theme, Susie is actually using Joe's computer while he's out. So we'd like to know what's on Joe's internet history.
Oh, you're gonna make me open.
Yeah.
This is a Mac, so I don't
Okay.
know how to use it.
Oh, it's gonna be brilliant.
All right. Okay.
Result number 1: how to paint over color.
How do I find the history? What do I do?
Look at
Go
the
to the
top.
search bar and click X and see what comes up.
X.
Or P, just see what comes up.
Oh.
It's a website called Dribble.
Hang on, I've got to look this up. Dribble.
Dribble with 3 B's.
Oh, it's
That's definitely a
his
Polish
work.
site.
It's a designer's one.
Yeah, but it sounded funny, didn't it?
I had my hopes up then for a second. I was thinking Dribble. Hello. Oh, who the hell uses their computer for work? What are you doing, Joe? You maniac.
I typed in P. Oh, it's a radio. It's a podcast.
Oh,
Perspective
Oh.
FM podcast.
Okay. All right. Well, keep searching and keep us posted as the night goes on.
Joe
Any questions?
definitely deleted his history.
He has. He knew you. He somehow he knows. Like a sixth sense
He's on
that men have.
He's on incognito mode all the time.
Drill
Everything's to do
explains
with
the
his
stain. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah.
Ah!
Dan Live has a question. When was the last time you had a poo that wasn't in a toilet? Now, I think this question says more about Dan than anything. Because, I mean, I can't speak for everyone else on the panel, but it's never has been...
Are you okay, Dan?
Yeah, are you okay? Is this... Should we stage an intervention, Dan?
Dan did have a wee in my garden the other day.
Context.
Is that the stain?
So he didn't have a poo. We were driving back. Roger was driving us back from a gig, and I was the first stop. And it was quite late, and we'd had a lot to drink. And Dan was desperate for the loo, so I was like, "Oh, come in and use the loo. It's fine." And Joe had left his keys in the door, so I was there desperately trying to get in because both of us needed a wee. So Dan was like, "As soon as I'm going to burst, can I wee in the bush?"
Is the bush still alive?
It's looking a bit yellow.
Is it? Right, okay. He explains that he used to camp in the woods a lot.
For those of you who aren't sure who Joe is, by the way, it is, of course, Joe Strummer of The Clash.
I thought it was Joe Wicks.
Oh, Joe Wicks. Yeah, I've done Joe Wicks later.
Did any of your neighbours see?
There was something about
I don't
the
know.
phrase, have you ever had a poo that wasn't a toilet that made me think like not going for a poo, but actually having one, like keeping it as a pet. Boil it down, moisten it with chamois leathers. I've won first prize at Crufts 3 years in a row.
What would the poo version of Crufts be called?
Crust.
Crust. Oh, I made myself feel sick.
Oh, Erica sent a photo of her watching on the TV downstairs.
Hey!
There we go.
Having a poo?
Oh,
Is she having a poo?
Yeah, Dan, we need your back history, literally your back history, with regards to where you've laid some cable that wasn't in a toilet.
Does a
so if-
Glastonbury toilet count as something that's not in a toilet? Because you can't, in good conscience, call those toilets. I've shit in a long drop. I have a friend who once, like the long drops were so bad at Glastonbury that they'd like gone out of the loo, and it was in the baking hot sun. So he decided to crack an egg on top to see what happened, and it cooked.
Suddenly, George's mayonnaise don't seem so bad.
Oh, can someone clip that out of context? Just Alex say George's mayonnaise ain't too bad.
Clipping stuff from this show out of context, not on my watch.
Very much fun. Very much fun.
The last festival that I went to, I mean, I must have quite a discerning rear end because I just could not bring myself to do it. I was trying, and I was pretty. It was a friend of mine, Scott Adams, that got me into this festival because he was in the comedy tent, and he said, "Do you want to come along? I'll get you in for free." And it wasn't until the Sunday when he got us bumped to the VIP section, which included VIP toilets.
VIP.
When I went in there, suddenly my rear end went, finally! And it's like a weekend's worth.
I've got magical bowels. I could literally shit anywhere, but it's always been a toilet. You know, like when people are like, "Oh, I've gone away for the weekend and I couldn't shit." I don't care whose house I'm in. I'll shit anywhere.
That's like the defecating equivalent of like, yeah, I could fight him, but I wouldn't.
I could shit here.
Yeah, just choose not to, innit? Yeah. Joe Strummer explains the stain. Thanks, Dan.
It's just making me think of the stinky poo from South Park, actually.
Oh, Mr. Hanky.
Yeah, Mr. Hanky.
Christmas poo.
Yeah.
From back in the day when people actually watched South Park, my word.
I still watch South Park.
Alex, would now be a good time to mention last series' recurring joke of pegging?
No, that's banned. that's banned from this series, as so is out of context Graham Whistler. That's not coming back either.
Funnily enough, though, that's how you get rid of the bowel.
Graham Whistler?
Yeah.
No, you're
Bowel
pegging.
stage
Yeah.
fright, bit of pegging. Bowel stage fright will clear that right up.
Nice.
Tough and brought it back.
Well, thanks for the tangent you made us all go down, Dan. I appreciate that. Keep your questions coming in, please. Let's go to the Nokia questions. Let's go to the Nokia questions because I've got a few. Because you can't do any more than 6 messages in the inbox. Kitty text: which fictional character is your most problematic crush and why? So, which fictional character? Alan, we'll come to you first because you're rather well read. So, which character from fiction is slightly problematic crush for you? Would you say?
Later.
Okay, say no more. Lolita.
I've never read Lolita. That just sounded like a problematic crush.
It would be a very problematic crush.
That is in fact the point of the book.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. I'm nowhere near as well read as you, so I'm gonna. I don't know. The first 3 books I thought were all non-fiction, so I'm missing completely the point of this. Anyone else got a problematic Susie?
My first ever crush, and he is still quite sexy actually, was the Fox version of Robin Hood from Disney.
I mean, you can sort of understand that.
It's a wonder that I didn't end up a furry. It really is.
He actually made. There was a top 20 list of weird crushes from film on BuzzFeed or something the other day, and Matt Fox made the top 16.
I'm not weird. Yay!
Well, you are, but
It's his warm brown eyes and his lovely singing voice.
Yeah. That's one of my favourite films.
There's a character from a novel called The Dice Man, who is the Dice Man's the Dice Man's next door neighbor who gets indoctrinated into his weird new world of dicing. So she's quite staid and quite prim and proper to begin with, but she goes batshit crazy towards the end. And she just increasingly gets more attractive as we've gone through it all. So that'd be my problematic crush. Do you recommend reading The Dice Man? It's a good book.
Okay. No, I've got one. I'll go with Christine from Armageddon the Musical by Robert Rankin. Now, the plot of Armageddon the Musical is in a post-nuclear dystopia, the world is run by the 3 big television corporations, which are the Jesuits, the Scientologists, and Buddhavision. The head of Buddhavision, Dalai Lama, is in fact the Antichrist, and the only people who can stop him from finishing off the rest of the human population are an accidental clone of Harrison Ford, a vegetable man from the planet Phnagos who set up the Earth as an experiment in reality television, and a time-traveling Elvis Presley with a sprout in his head. And Christine is the twin sister of Jesus Christ, who was edited out of the Bible because of St. Paul the misogynist.
That's just nothing else apart from just a
Wow.
Great book.
Are you okay?
We started. We kicked back. We restarted the podcast version of this show. So I'd just like to remind everyone who's listening: this is the Awkward Testing Time podcast and not Radio 4.
And I'm sorry that you couldn't see my stain.
yeah. Oh, and we have a title. Yeah. Actually, that sounds like a Radio 4 panel show.
I'm sorry you couldn't see my stain.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Nigel Reese and Giles Brandreth just describing stains for 30 minutes between the moral maze and today. God.
You could get some like ASMR in that though. Like this one's a little bit like.
That was horrible.
Podcast listeners, you didn't see me recoil when that happened. Oh, that was wow. That was a weird experience. Kitty has clarified there can be books, TV, film, anything, but it does need to be the character, not just the actor being fit. She then gives her list. I have too many serial killers. They always cast hot actors too. Kilgrave from Jessica Jones. David Tennant.
Yeah.
Villanelle.
Villanelle.
Villanelle. I've
Yeah.
not seen Killing Eve.
To be
And pretty
no,
much every
Oh,
every evil murderer in anything, to be honest.
Evan Peters is a good
Ooh.
I really, really fancy Evan Peters, but every single character he has played in American Horror Story series, I have fancied, which is very problematic because a lot of them are horrible, horrible murderers.
and Donald Trump fans.
Yeah.
Yes. Cole.
I guess if we're doing TV fiction, then I guess River Song from Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she's halfway between psychotic and MILF.
You just want to like Peter Capaldi.
Peter Capaldi's a MILF?
I said you just want to shag him.
Well, this escalated. Erica.
Michelle Gomez is a MILF. Master, I'd like to fuck.
Bravo. Cannot be beaten. Erica. Alan has a crush on Jessica Rabbit.
No,
Every
Everyone has a
bloke
crush.
of my age, at least, certainly has. That's.
Thinking of the Cadbury's Caramel Rabbit,
Yeah.
who
similar
remarkably
territory.
was voiced by Miriam Margolyes. That is a true story.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
Professor Sprout.
Yeah.
She's head of my my Harry Potter house.
Woo.
Is anyone else mind blown now?
Yeah.
That wank took a strange turn halfway through.
A little to the left.
Whoa. Let's do the. Okay.
If you fancied the chocolate bunny, did you show her your chocolate fingers?
Oh.
Rim shot. Denied.
Well, I gotta go.
In fact, while we're at it,
Yellow card. You have been warned.
Oh.
Yeah.
it's not a triumph. It's not 2005, and you're pleased you've got an ASBO.
Well, I got kicked off the real life one, so let's try and get kicked off both.
Oh, that's the point. Yeah, you did, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Talk of the Whistler, and he appears. Graham Whistler, my ex had a rabbit she called Jessica. Very confusing time for me.
Yeah, that is.
There we
Really?
go. There we go. Yes, really. Okay.
It was, the reason he was confused is because it was an actual rabbit. He just spent every day down at the rabbit huts with a carrot going, but how? How do you make her? How? I've looked everywhere.
Okay, changing the tone somewhat for the next question. What has been your worst gig experience? So it doesn't necessarily have to be stand-up. It could have been something else that you've done, acting or DJing or whatever. Or indeed panto, George. Yeah.
Oh, me.
Yeah. So worst gig experience, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
I've got one.
Go on then.
It was a comedy gig actually during Panto a few years back in Dunstable. And I was fairly new, so obviously I didn't know about the warning lights, and I applied for this open mic night. And it should have been my first warning when the guy said, "Oh, we usually just have singers. You'll be the only comedian." For some reason I thought, yeah, fuck it, let's still do it. I don't know why. I thought, yeah, let's still do it. Did about 5-6 minutes, got a few titters. Then the organizer came up to me and gave me the biggest backhanded compliment ever. He said, "You were really funny. I've never heard the pub so quiet." It's like, make your mind up. It's like, what? Make your mind up. Okay.
Dan Lythe in the comments has greeted Graham with a whoop-de-doo. Thank you very much. Wow, that's the sort of that would be emblazoned on your memory for years. Wow.
Yeah, and then he messaged me a few weeks later going, "Oh, we've got another open mic coming up soon. Do you want to do it?" I went, "No, thanks. I'm good. I'll skip that one." Yeah.
Wow. Alan, what about you? What's been your worst gig experience?
I can say without hesitation, The Ghost Train, which I was in an amateur performance of that play with the Royal Hospital Players many years ago. The Ghost Train is by Arnold Ridley, who you may remember as Godfrey from Dad's Army.
All right.
His granddaughter is Daisy Ridley, who is the
Fit.
Star Wars girl.
I never knew that.
Not me neither.
Yeah, true. But the Ghost Train, it's got a cast of about 10 people. And when we came to actually perform it, 3 of us knew our lines. Everybody else did not know their lines well enough to be as drunk as they were on stage.
Oh, shit.
It's the one and only show, I think, that I stayed absolutely dead sober for the whole way because I couldn't. It was the only way I could try and figure out how to turn the bloody story back towards what was going on. Me, Emma Fordry, and Gav Robertson, I think, all knew our lines, and everybody else, no fucking clue whatsoever. It was hilarious.
Toe curling.
Oh,
yeah.
That just reminds.
The cast are clearly enjoying themselves far more than the audience.
That reminds me of a story. I mean, I'm not going to name names. We're not going to get sued. We've only got 4 people watching. Fuck it. Let's call him Dave.
Francis?
Possibly. I heard he was in Edinburgh with a play called Bert, a 2-handed play, and it was on in the afternoon. And I heard from his co-star that he was quite frustrated with the fact that Dave was regularly so drunk during the play he fell asleep while he was on stage. So we had to elbow him in the ribs because he'd be there like.
Oh no!
Legend.
He appears to imagine he's in the audience.
Yeah. I've been hammered, but never to the point where I've forgotten that I'm on stage and
just fallen asleep.
Yeah. So I think I wouldn't say. I think possibly the most regrettable gig experience was a Zoom gig that I had, which I was absolutely arseholed.
Tell me more.
Now there was quite a horrible. There was a series of events that led up to this, which were quite depressing, and it was bank holiday, so it's like at the time when the pubs were reopening, and that morning I'd got an email from University of Derby alumni newsletter, and there's always a bit at the end of alumni who are doing well. And it just so happens that it was somebody who was on my exact course at the exact same time that I was there. And he is now part of the media team at 10 Downing Street.
Oh.
Yeah. A guy called Sean Jepson, who was, this was about 2004 time. He was on like the uni football team, and he had those earrings that everyone wore that was in football at the time. Sort of like the diamond in the corner.
Does that mean he was responsible for all them letters falling off behind Theresa May?
I hope so. Anyway, he was popular, charming, excelling at everything. Yeah, a knob, basically. So there he was with one of his publicity photos on a desk in Downing Street, like that. So then I'm reading of his glittering media career that led him to this point, as I'm then comparing dates, thinking, yeah, that's when I was fucking up. Yeah, that's when I was fucking up. Yeah, that's when I was making some really poor life choices. So then, just to compound this, I then show this email to my mum, who says, "Ooh, he's still a good-looking man."
I love your mum.
So I'm as depressed as fuck, and that echoes.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got an echo.
It chooses now to echo. I'm chronically depressed at the point when I'm then getting in the car to go and meet George in a pub garden. I may have to. I may mute some people just to see if that gets rid of the echo. No, but then I won't hear people laughing.
It's gone.
It's you.
Is it?
Is it? It's gone now. No, it's not George. Is it Alan? This is like the shittest parlour game in the world ever. No, is it Ishi? Can it be Ishi? Oh, how is it Ishi when she's wearing headphones?
Is Ishi? Is your headphones plugged in?
Oh, don't know.
That's a national choice.
No. Anyway,
Oh,
so
it's gone. It's gone.
the 30-degree heats are quite nice. So, like 6 or 7 beers in, suddenly everything felt right with the world. And they were still doing the table service thing at the time. When I thought it would be a great idea to surprise George with a bottle of champagne. Very bad idea. If I'd have stopped then, the gig in the evening, which I'd forgotten about, would have been fine. But no. So then half a bottle of champagne, and then I then get in, and I think I've got an hour to the gig. What shall I do? I know, that bottle of cherry rum that I've got in the corner.
Shall I make you feel slightly better with one of my drunk stories from the other week that got me in trouble?
Gone.
Ooh.
So there was this really weird rum bar. We were already arsehole because we'd had a bottomless brunch, and they bought they must have just gone to an antique store and just bought desks and stuff. So we were sat at one facing the street, and there was cupboards and stuff in it. So I started ferreting about in the cupboards, found 3 tins of Ronseal, and then started to try and sell it to everybody that walked past. These 3 tins of Ronseal.
No.
I then found a brick that was this horrible salmon colour. My friend was filming it, and I only realised I did this the day after when I watched the video back. I put this brick on the thing, and Beth was like, "That's a funny colour, Suze. What do you think to that?" And I grabbed it, threw it behind me. And then this lady came up because it made a huge crash. And this lady was like, "Are you all right? What are you doing?" I was like, yeah, it was just a brick. And she was like, "You threw a brick at the billboard?" And I was like, "Yeah, I hate capitalism." And then we had to leave the rum bar because I'd thrown a brick at an appetizer.
Oh dear.
Well done.
Whoops.
Begbie from Train Spotting that lobbed the pint glass behind him. Yeah, I'm getting Begbie vibes.
I was channeling Begbie.
I hate capitalism so much that I've just tried to sell 3 cans of somebody else's Ronseal to passers-by.
Fight the system.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a funny panto drunk story. We had, when I was in Middlesbrough, there was one day we had a massive break between the 2 shows. So we thought, oh no, let's go bowling. So a load of the cast went bowling. I was one of the drivers that day. So we got to bowling. By the end of the bowling, Ben Holmes, who a few of you know, one of the other dwarfs, the MD, musical director, and about 2 of the other cast members were hammered. And we still had another show to do. So we thought, shit, yeah. We got back to the theatre. All of the management were in the green room, which we had to walk through to get to our dressing rooms. So we all shit ourselves. I went, fuck, how do we do this? So someone managed to distract them lot. We got everybody in, got everybody had to fall asleep for about an hour, and then the show went perfectly somehow. Like, the MD's drunk, 2 of the dwarfs are drunk, Snow White's had a few. Shit! Yeah.
Snow White on stage doing her best sober voice the way you do when you're absolutely flattered.
Yeah.
I think you'll find.
Thankfully, Ben was, well, he wanted to go because he was playing dopey because, you know, it suits him. And he had no words to say. He had no words to say. So we're just trying to keep him up straight. And the MD was like, well, yeah, you're going to do fuck knows what because you're playing the music.
Oh, I would have killed for a ticket to that.
Yeah, so
Ben was getting into character, wasn't he? Like totally
Yeah.
dedicated.
Well, if you want, Alex, we could do that at St Albans from the 10th of December to the 3rd of January this year at the Alban Arena. Yeah.
Okay, now I would like to see a hammered panto. That's one thing I would like to see. Dan Live, I did a gig recently to about 10 middle-aged women in someone's garden during a rainstorm at 2 in the afternoon. The hostess said my jokes would be fine. They weren't. Oh, Dan.
did you do the anal song, Dan?
There's been a running thing tonight of Dan's crevice. It's been happening a lot. Graham Whistler, does Dave's last name rhyme with flattery? No, actually, I did give the correct first name for this person, but I can see where you're going with that. Kitty Messalina. I did my school play with a temperature of 40 degrees. I love the fact she gives that in Fahrenheit.
Like,
Thanks, Kate, that's what we want.
Pays attention to Fahrenheit anyway.
Because we'd have all bickered about that otherwise.
You should tell the people listening on audio it's 104.
104, yeah, 104.
Yeah.
She had a temperature of 40 degrees C. That's about 104 Fahrenheit.
You're listening to Radio 4.
And that was the Kitty forecast.
The article. 6 people stuck in Dan's crevice. How will Joe Marsden get them out?
I will read this fucking comment if it kills me.
No, yeah.
So she did the school play with a comment of 40 degrees. With a comment. Oh, God's sake!
I can't. Words. Good.
That's had a lot of use these last 2 weeks.
Oh.
Tell you what.
Wearing off, Alex.
Yeah. Alan, you read the comment because I fucked it up massively.
I did my school play with a temperature of 40 degrees C, that's 104 degrees Fahrenheit, and a horrid flu and slight delirium. But I was main cast, and the show must go on. Went home, watched Grey's Anatomy, character died at 105 degrees Fahrenheit. 1 degree away from fictional TV death.
Oh my. Oh my.
Dan has replied to your question, Susie. Yes.
I
no.
bet that went down like a pint of hot sick.
He clarified, I opened with it.
Oh.
That's the only thing you can do with anal, really.
Kitty clarified, I put the Fahrenheit because the Grey's Anatomy temp was in a yank temperature. We would have got there a lot quicker if it wasn't for me reading. Graham Whistler, what's your worst gig experience? Curious series of This Is How Drunk We Were stories. Was so drunk closing a cider festival gig in Dorset, I went round the room apparently calling everyone a cunt, including a dog. I can confirm this because a mutual friend of ours, comedian Adam Money, took a video and sent it to me while I was in Edinburgh, and it was hilarious.
I want to see that video.
So who's still to tell of their worst gig experience? Is she?
Yes. Okay, Dan, this will make you feel better about your gig. In my wisdom, when I was starting out, I thought, it would be a good idea to go to an old people's home and do a gig in the daytime. I didn't know there was a difference between old people's home and nursing home.
Yeah.
So I ended up going to a nursing home, and they all had, hearing aids, and they were all flashing me their nappies. So I can literally say that they pissed themselves during my set. Literally. Well, at least nobody died.
Oh, nice.
I got offered a threesome at my gig recently.
Oh.
Can you tell us this now? Come on.
Yeah, when I did my show Copping Through Life at a Crafty Clown, I did a bit about nightclubs and picking people up. And there was this couple sitting in front of me. Susie and Alex, you would have known if you actually turned up. But basically,
I was ill.
I can't remember where I was.
I talked to this couple and said, "Oh, did you meet at a nightclub?" And I said, "Yeah. Do you want a threesome?" I'm like, "I know, it's sober." I'm like, "Okay, that's weird."
The people of Clown, dear God.
To which I just replied 2 words: "Hi ho."
I was taking a gulp of water from a really tall Pilsner glass, and for some reason, a drop then decided to shoot right up my nose.
Oh.
That's what happened at the threesome, actually.
That's okay. Nice one. Just go back to Ishi's story. It just reminded me of remember the Friday Night Project? Many years ago. This is a story that Alan Carr told, that they had Richard Whiteley as guest host once, and they went to watch a recording of Countdown, and somebody came out and said to the audience, "Okay, a special message to everyone in the audience with AIDS."
Oh.
Switch them to the T position.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Of course, obviously, Alan Carr's ears picked up like, what? Kitty Messalina, I bet that went down like a pint of hot sick. Thanks, Susie. That's a phrase seared into my mind forever, with appropriate emojis to go with it. Every gig I do, if I do the bit about dudes thinking because I'm bi, I'm up for a threesome, some guy comes up after the gig and thinks it's hilarious to ask one afterwards. 9 out of 10 gigs. I read one out in full. Hooray!
Yay! Woo, woo, woo!
I'm the read boy.
The government has now declared you fit for work. Unlucky.
Damn. Tonight's show is sponsored by Atos.
What's my who?
Atos.
I think it's
That's the company that
Adolf.
declares you fit for work. Yeah.
I think it's Adolf.
No,
Tossa.
no.
Hey.
Don't go down that. You know what happened to Ponov. Stop right now.
You know your threesome story, George.
Yeah.
Just reminded me of being at university. So we were, I think there were 6 of us in a single student bed.
If this isn't worth a donation, I don't know what will be.
Oh, that way.
And there we were.
Oh yeah, cheers, Alex.
we were all like, you know, we'd been out for the night, and then we were just like sitting there chatting, and then of course the lights went out, and they were all friends, and then 2 of my friends start getting off with each other, and I had to pretend to be asleep through it all because it was like we were sitting here chatting, doing nothing, and now you guys are getting off. And of course I had to pretend. They kept it quiet for a while, but I had to keep pretending like I didn't know. It's like, oh, come on, Emma. Come on, Alex. Oh, gosh.
Hey!
Oops. It's like, oh, no. You can hear the zippers going off. You can hear the poppers going off. You can hear everything. You can hear the sloppy kissing. And you're like,
Hang on, before you tell any more of the story, can
Yeah.
you just wait for Susie to do the sound effects?
oh, yeah. Okay. So the zippers going off. The sloppy kissing. Oh, fantastic. And the poppers are going off.
Buttons.
Alex, who is Em? That was a mime. Not me. It wasn't me.
No,
Yeah,
it wasn't this
yeah.
Alex. It wasn't this
No,
Alex.
not me. No.
No, it
No,
wasn't
not
this
me.
Alex.
Of course.
She's Kitty. Strokey my ego slightly, saying, "Don't worry, Alex. You managed to read Dan's comment of yes."
I can't help feeling poor old Susie is a woman out of her time. 20 years ago, you'd have been making a fortune on the premium rate phone sex lines with those kind of movies. The internet's just fucked that whole business.
That's where
that's
Joe is
true.
tonight. Trying to get another one of those jobs.
Nice. Okay, so to finish off with tonight, as we are now in October, and some people are doing sober for October, probably quite apt considering most of the stories that we've had tonight. Can we all create a fundraising theme for every month of the year? Only in the UK could October and January make it sound like you're some sort of an Olympian for not drinking. I found out recently from a Canadian friend of mine that only in the UK does the term functioning alcoholic exist. Nowhere else in the world. I can't help but feel a little bit proud. So I'll
synonymous with lightweight.
yeah.
Was
So
like
I
only
will-
in the US did the term functioning gun holder actually apply.
Oh, I suppose I find I get to use. I get to use this one
Ooh, it's a deep burn.
finally. So I will. So it could be alliteration. It could be something that rhymes slightly with the month. So a new action or activity to get sponsored for each month. So are we ready?
Yes.
Okay. So what for January?
January.
Okay, right. It's not even a beat then. January. So a full 31 days, and what would that entail?
Wanking every day if you have a fanny, or going down on your partner if they have a fanny.
What if you're single and a male?
Find a
Well,
fanny.
it's your month.
Oh, you're funny.
What did you say, Alex?
Have you never heard of a fleshlight?
Then January is the month for you, singletons.
You've created the world's most pointless holiday, going down on a flashlight every day.
I mean, if they're single, they clearly need to get the practice in. So,
All right, Susie, rub it in. Fuck you.
Well,
no, rub it in.
that's
That's what happens when you rub it in.
It was like a relay race. Who could get to the punchline first? Yeah. Moving on then. In February, what are we doing to raise
similar
money?
sort of idea to Susie for February. I think we should have a snogathon and just raise money with a snogathon.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think-
just
Fuck all for February. I think I quite like the sound of it.
We've had
Get sponsored to do nothing.
we've had January for the people in partnerships. Why don't we have Vibuary for the singleton?
Okay. So sponsored wand use.
Yeah, exactly.
oh,
Okay. I'm sensing a theme for the remaining 10 months of the year. Let's see how this pans out. What are we doing to raise money in March?
well, March hares, so rabbits.
So we've moved on from the wands. We've got onto the rabbits.
We're back to Jessica Rabbit. It's callback central tonight. Any more for March? No. April.
April, give up smoking.
Okay. Nice. Nice. Jessica's back. Indeed, she's good. A month of going down, followed by a month of snogging. Mono March. Nice. Okay. April in April. May.
Go gay for May. Everybody has to swap sexualities. Raise awareness. Bisexuals have to flip a coin.
No,
I was gonna
bisexual
say,
just
what
go
are we doing?
asexual. Bisexual go asexual.
Oh,
Yes.
no.
Yeah. Oh, crap.
Okay.
I like that. I like that.
Why? That is a lot of effort for the poor asexual community.
Oh, no.
Literally taking on all comers.
And the forfeit will be you play bullseye with Theresa May.
As she
Rich
runs
imagery.
Wheatfield.
Rich imagery. Go gay for May and raise money for cancer research.
Terence Higgins.
Yeah, Terence Higgins. June.
Jack off.
Okay, we're back to
Jack
Jack off
Jack off
June.
you.
I just get a vision of some kind of like sitcom from the 70s that they only replay on Talking Pictures TV. Jack off
2 a.m.
June.
on Comedy Central.
Yeah,
Whitfield's nickname
June.
when she was younger.
Yeah, June Whitfield. She's a bit of a goer. Bless her.
Yeah.
Back in the day. July. What are we doing
Same
in
one.
July?
No,
You have to answer again.
polies. Oh,
Roly-polies.
yes, roly poly down the hill. I think everybody should do a roly poly in July.
I'm fucked.
Can we not do July? Nobody can tell the truth for the whole of July.
Hey.
I like
I
that.
like that one. That's nice.
That'll
So
be
we
great.
should all become politicians. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Like it.
Could we do a word?
August. What are we doing in August?
Some August. Nothing makes sense.
I think,
I feel like
Small
everyone
bit
should
more.
bathe in something really weird. You know, like when people bathe in beans and stuff.
Aubergine August.
Yeah.
they should bathe in George's mayonnaise.
I mean,
We could have a festival for Susie. We could have August stain removal.
Everyone just has a go at it.
Isn't mayonnaise used as a stain remover, or am I just feverish still?
Is it?
I don't want to try.
I might have to look that. I will look that up as you contemplate September. What we did in September? I'll look up
Slapping September.
Slapping September.
Slaptember.
Yeah.
Slaptember. Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Slapping where? No.
Anyone begin with S?
Oh,
No.
shit.
And Greg.
I'm still looking up. No, he'll probably be watching this. Don't say him. October.
Proctober.
For
Anal
October.
only all month. Proctober. Anal only all month.
Oh, Proctober. I thought you said Froctober.
No,
As in, like,
Proctober.
you have to spend all month in drag.
Yeah.
And we celebrate Jurgen Prock now, the guy from Das Boot, but mainly it's the bumming.
Dad'll be happy.
We know a song about this, don't we, children? No, we don't, because the cast are drunk.
His secret wine.
Last couple November.
Nut allergy November. You kill everyone with a nut allergy. You just smack them.
So genocide November is what you're proposing there.
Yeah.
I thought you said Nutella, and I got really excited because I fucking
Well,
love
that too.
Nutella. Yeah.
Yeah, I could go for that. Include where do you stand on those Nutella bites? It's like got that crispy sort of like shell, but Nutella in the middle, like in a bar.
I mean, I have been known to use one of those to spoon Nutella out of the jar.
I wondered where that was going then.
Wow, that's a level of decadence that I want to try.
Mayonnaise, George. Same place as the mayonnaise.
I have been known to eat an entire jar of Nutella in one sitting.
Wow.
I can believe that.
Yeah.
Okay. And finally, just because this month doesn't have enough unnecessary pressure, what are we doing in December?
And
Dwarf
Very
December.
light.
They're not allowed to be on the telly for the whole month. Fuck them.
Dwarf December.
Dwarf December. What was that again, Alan?
Ant and December. They're not allowed. Ant and Dec aren't allowed to be on the telly all month.
What did
That would
Ishi
raise
say?
millions.
What did Ishi say?
I think we should wear fairy lights for every day in December.
There's one on each nipple. Like a really, like a sexy Dalek.
A weird cross between an advent calendar and the Dance of the Seven Veils, where you start the month with 24 lights on. Just one every day.
Pop.
There's a new dwarf named Sparky.
Glass exploding.
Sparky, I like it.
That was so sexy till the glass pulled my eyes out.
Sparky the dwarf. I've just got this vision of a dwarf who's like a Cockney electrician. What?
Well, Alex, if
Right.
you come to St Albans this Christmas between the 10th of December and the 3rd of January, you might just see one.
Sparky the dwarf.
Yeah.
Kitty just suggested December. We have a massive roast battle.
Oh,
I'm going to go one
December.
further. Instead of
That's
December,
great.
we call it dismember. We call wild horses to pull the Prime Minister limb from limb live on national television on the 1st of December
Yeah.
every year. That'll
Is this
fucking
just
work.
like fueling your vendetta against Ant and Dec?
We're not allowed to commentate.
I think
Not
with the
bad.
girth of him, you'd need more than 1 horse per limb. I think you'd need like 3 horsepower per limb. And thoroughbreds as well. You know, really going for
And then
it.
we all kick him in the bollocks.
how
George,
bad would it
the
be?
direct approach.
Yeah.
How bad would it be if you had to go for a circumcision to a doctor and the practice was called dismember?
Is it
I
like,
like the cut of his gin. Pun not intended.
Yeah,
Not
the horrifying
anything,
part
no,
is it's like the dismemberment with horses, so they just tie it round and set it off.
Oh,
Kitty has raised you with dismember. You just remove a bunch of members. Aubergine emoji.
Is that from group chats, Kitty? Because I've got one that you're in.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, on that, we are at the end of the time. The hour. That's
Another hour.
No.
Oh,
we've
what about
struggled.
my fantasy crush? Oh, sorry, my fictional crush.
Okay. Yeah. Who's that?
Mr. Tickle, because he's got exceedingly long arms.
And on that note, I fear it's time for some kind of intervention.
Here's a new game for next week. Which of the Mr. Man would you fuck?
Mr. Bump.
Oh.
Misty.
Great show. I'll put the kettle on, Alan. Yeah.
Go on, Alan, pull the kettle on.
Yeah, your other half is telling you to put the kettle on.
We'll all have one.
Yeah, Erica has spoken that it's time for the kettle on, so it'll be time to end. So before we do leave, we need to go around everyone and see if you've got anything to plug, if it is just your socials. Alan, we'll start with you.
Yes, Dave Slattery and I are going on tour fairly soon. We're starting off in November the 9th in Liverpool, the Royal Court Studio. That's nearly sold out now. And then we're going on around the bits of the country, Whitby, London, in Bloomsbury, a couple of places. Check his Twitter feed at Slattery Live for all the details.
I'll be there too, but don't let that put you off.
Yeah, he will, actually. That's true. He'll be hosting.
George.
Yeah, I'm on the next episode of Roger's Blue Suede News. That's either tomorrow or Tuesday. Can't remember when that is. I need to double check that. You can find me on Facebook, George Coppen, accent comedian. YouTube at George Coppen. And as I've said a few times this year, Panto's back! Don't Alex. Yeah, at the Auburn Arena from the 10th of December to the 3rd of January. And I'm playing cheeky, so go get your tickets.
Ooh.
Erica there clarifying Slattery's Twitter. There we go. At Slattery Live. Issue.
Hi. Yes, follow me on socials. It's here, or even here, or even okay.
Very nice.
Success.
Nottingham Comedy Festival, the 20th of November, Saturday the 20th of November, new show about love. And it could be, let me know if you want a kiss and tell. And I think it might be all kiss and tell stories. So, yeah, do come. And
I mean, I'm going just for the Mr. Tickle story.
You're going to be Mr. Tickle, aren't you, Alan? You've got your costume ready.
Nobody could be.
Just put a glove on a stick.
Wow. Okay. Graham, top show, everybody. Clapping emoji. Thank you, Graham.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Susie.
So yeah, I am on Twitter and Instagram at Mad Teapot Lady, Facebook Susie Foster's Comedy. I'm at the Secret Garden gig in Hereford on the 13th of October, Better Days in Leeds on the 14th, Rapper Club on the 16th, and Den of Laughs on the 21st of October. I've got loads coming up after that, but I will not waste your time. Just follow me on the thingies, and I will share them on there.
Whatever you do, don't turn up to any of those gigs and chase around with a swatch of velvet. That wouldn't be
Oh no. Oh, I've revealed my secrets.
Rub it on her face as she's about to go to a punchline.
Alan, your hand is like a ghost hand.
Well, that's because I've been sat on it for the last half an hour, so it goes dead.
Okay. I will. My turn to plug things. No. I'm also going to be part of Slattery's tour, which is up and coming. Go follow at Slattery Live. I'm also going to be this show. Awkward Question Time will be unlocked and live again at the Nottingham Comedy Festival. The ticket link is in the comments, so it should be right at the top. George, you're at the last one. Did it get weird?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I got banned, and your mum was there. And, yeah, we all flirted with your mum.
Yeah. So that was a thing. So the dates as they currently stand is the 12th for Awkward Question Time live, and the 19th for the Joy of Decks. But apparently that's going to change soon.
Oh.
Am I coming to Knots? Don't know. Are you?
I don't know.
No. So this is Graham Whistler talking. We'll talk, Graham. Yeah, I believe that's everything else to plug. So thanks again once more to my panel tonight, Alan Chicon, George Coppin, and Susie Frost. Until next Sunday night at 8:30, stay awkward.
Yeah.